I don't know what it is, but my waking mind always seems to think up creative ideas or remind me of things I need to get done in the coming days. Adrianna, wake up. I have had over a month to decide on what to make for our friend's baby shower. I know I could simply go to the store and purchase something off a rack and call it a day. But I would like to work on making meaningful gifts since I am more actively sewing. To be honest though, I am not usually a gift giver. However, when it is something purposeful and genuinely thought out, I feel more connected with gifting. Maybe that's why I've been so indecisive on this project. I have endlessly scrolled on Pinterest trying to find the perfect thing to make, but nothing I have seen feels right. I have really been struggling with this, and at this point, it's made me procrastinate. So I think it's just time that I go into my sewing space. And we're gonna search through my fabric stash, which are in these containers, to see if I can select just the fabric that I want to use and maybe go from there and decide what exactly I want to sew. I know a blanket would be something pretty simple, but I feel like people usually get a lot of blankets, and I guess let's just go from there. Picked out some fabrics for my stash that are soft and I think good for the fall, since we have warmer falls here in California. And I also picked out a few patterns that I'm kind of liking the inspiration to. I'm not sure if I'll fully use one, but I am debating still now if I want to end up making a little outfit or being simple and making a blanket. Even though I was trying to avoid making it, just looking at these fabrics, I think it would be something simple and cozy to be able to make. If I were to make a blanket, I think I would make it out of this yellow and this beautiful cotton floral. The yellow is kind of a knit. It doesn't have too much stretch to it, but it's really soft. And I think that would be a good blanket to kind of be able to have through the baby's life, just because it is a little bit more cooling rather than something super fluffy and more for warmer weather. So I might take a little break. My stomach has really been hurting during the process of filming this, and I'm gonna make some tea and kind of decide from there. Hopefully I can actually start today. I only have tomorrow before Saturday since it's Thursday. Though my body still felt tired, I knew I wanted to get this done. I decided to scrap the sewing patterns. I will definitely get to use them in the future. And despite my constant remarks regarding a blanket, that is what I decided to go with. Just looking at my fabric choice, I knew I wanted to also use some vintage lace I had recently thrifted. I only had 2 pieces that measured 30 inches each, so the design will have to be using those dimensions. The blanket I decided would be more rectangular, with one side being the lace trim, and I wanted to spruce it up, so to say, with some scalloped edges. I've never done this before, so I was really hoping it would turn out okay. Before attaching all the pattern pieces together, I did need to finish the raw edges of the lace as they were a little bit frayed. That was a quick step, and then I started to assemble the blanket together. Because I had such little space to work with, I wasn't able to fully lay out the blanket and pin it. So I decided to just do one side and sew that together. When sewing the 2 pieces together, I don't know what I did wrong, but they didn't align, so I did end up having to trim some away. But it wasn't too big of a deal. I'll use those scrap pieces for another project. Once I resolved that minor issue, I was able to just sew the blanket completely. For sewing my first blanket ever, I'm really happy with how it came out. The two fabric choices were nice and soft, yet light to the touch, keep you nice and warm, but also being perfect for summer heat. I had also thrifted a few onesies at my local thrift store and a really cute light blanket, which is very similar to something they had on their registry. When I'm wrapping things, I love to make them beautiful, which this portion of gift giving I think is one of my favorites. But now knowing that there was something handmade that hopefully will travel through different journeys of this little girl's life, I hope it will withstand all the adventures. I couldn't wait to give this to our friends as they prepare for their new life to come.
Recreated for this beautiful day.